Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Sonia back at it with another video. On today's video, I will be talking about some of the prerequisites for med school. And so far, as you guys know, I am currently applying to med school, and I'm still waiting for med schools to get back to me. They said that interviews were supposed to be rolling out late August, so we're still waiting. I know it's already August, but we still gotta wait till like late August to see if your girl got an interview or not. I'm praying we do. I know God is out there working something, so just keeping the faith. But on today's video, I'm going to be talking about the prerequisites for med school. Before I go into talking about the prerequisites, I actually wrote them down so I don't forget and miss anything. I just wanted to say that there is no perfect major to get into med school. You do not have to be a biology major. You do not have to be a biomedical science major. You can major in anything you like, anything you want, be it if it's French, Spanish, history, nursing, marketing, arts, whatever sciences, whatever you want to do, whatever major you feel like I want to do or I want to try out, you can do that. You don't have to go the route of, oh, I'm going to be a biology major or I'm going to be a biomedical science major. So I would say go with something you're passionate about and then just take your prerequisites because that's all that's going to matter. And then by you doing that, you're not going to be like the same with a crowd. If you do want to do a MD, PhD, I would advise you major in like a biology or a biomedical science because it would give you a strong science background when you do go to med school and you have to do research. Prerequisites to take for med school is to take your intro to biology. I know different schools have different names for this class, but when you're filling out your med school application, they're going to put it like a bio 101, and then you can put the name that your school identifies this course at, but you have to take 1 year of intro to biology, and that equals 2 semesters, and this has to include labs with it. If you want to be competitive, try to get a good GPA in your prerequisites, but even if you have a C in one of your classes, don't let it stress you too much because people get into med schools with C's. The second prerequisite you have to take is your intro to chemistry plus labs. And when you're doing this and when you are going to school and applying, you also have to take into consideration like, okay, does this school take like AP credits to make up for this class? Because some med schools don't take AP credits to make up for the classes. I know some of the schools I applied to said that if I had like an online lab, that wasn't going to count towards me fulfilling our prerequisite requirements. So definitely check in with the med school you want to go to or you're interested in before you choose this or before you feel like your AP credits are going to help you qualify for that. And this includes the lab as well. So you have your intro to biology, which is the first one, your intro to chemistry, which includes the labs as well. And then the next class is organic chemistry. The reason I'm laughing while I'm talking about organic chemistry is because this is like the weeding class. Like most people coming to college and they're like, oh my God, I'm pre-med, I'm a biology major, a biomedical science major. And they go through OChem and they're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. So you actually do have to take organic chemistry if you want to go to med school. That's one of the prerequisites. And you also have to do good in it. But still, if you do get a C, people still get into med schools with a C, so don't let this bother you or disturb you in any way. Like, I'm not going to be able to get into med school because there are people who have low GPAs who still get into med school. So you can do it. And I believe and I trust in you. And yes, organic chemistry, it is a weed-out class, but I believe if you go to tutoring sessions, you practice, you can be good in the class and you can do better in the class. But I would say it is actually hard because you have all of this structures you're doing. But don't let that faze you because you got this. And you're applying to med school and there are a bunch of doctors who probably didn't do well in their organic chemistry classes and they're still doctors right now. Another prerequisite is physics. Physics is 2 semesters, and it also includes a lab. So all of the other prerequisites I've mentioned, you have to have those with your labs, because med schools want to say, okay, you are taking a lecture, but are you doing a lab to be able to apply what you've learned on your lecture from your lecture to your lab? So you have to take physics. This is also 2 semesters, which was the University of Akron. The lab and the lecture were combined, so like a 4-credit class, both the first part and the second part. So you just need to take 2 semesters if you want to go to med school. And then you also need to take math. I know most of us are not great with mathematics, but you do actually need math. And I know when I spoke to my pre-med advisor about this, I had taken Pre-Calc, which was my math class, and I also took stats. But I spoke to my pre-med advisor about this, and I asked her if I had to take calculus, and she was like, you don't need to take calculus. You just need to take a math class, be it if it's statistics or pre-calc or calc, whichever one you want to take. But if you're somebody who was like me and you didn't want to take calc and you had your pre-calc and your stats, you should be good, because it still counts as a requirement without you having calculus, as far as you have statistics or pre-calc, because that's still a math class. But those are like the major prerequisites for med school. All of these classes, like your intro to bio, your intro to chem, your organic chemistry, your physics, and your mathematics, those are like the minimum requirements. But if you want to make yourself a strong applicant, you can take other classes, like you have genetics, you have cell and molecular biology, you can take anatomy. You know, some med schools do recommend that you take it. Another one that isn't really like you have to take it, but it's like important, is also psychology and sociology. The reason I'm mentioning this is because all of these prerequisites I've mentioned, they are actually going to help you do well in your MCAT. So if you have a good science base learning on these prerequisites, and you actually pay attention to the content material, you should be able to do, you don't have to spend as much time studying for the MCAT or like going through content review, because you've already learned majority of the stuff in class. Then there are other requirements you have to take if you wanted to still be a competitive applicant. Applying, I've seen a couple of schools, their prerequisites. Some schools require you to have a humanities course. Humanities will include stuff like history, could count, art. Schools also actually would want you to have a writing requirement. So your English 1 and 2 classes should meet this requirement for you. And another one too that I almost forgot is biochemistry. And most med schools would actually want you to take a biochemistry class, because you do need this to have a good understanding of biochemistry, to also be able to take the MCAT, because you are tested on this on the MCAT. But you only need to take a semester of biochemistry to meet that requirement. So if you took biochemistry 1 and you were like, I don't really want to take biochemistry 2, don't do it, because I know my school had Biochem 1 and Biochem 2, and I only took Biochem 1 because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just learn all of this stuff when I go to med school. But that's a story for another time. And then you also would, I would say, take a foreign language, especially since we live in the United States and we have large populations of Hispanics and Latinos. I would say take Spanish, learn some form of Spanish, because it also would help you during patient interactions when you're in med school and when you're like shadowing in underserved communities, because like med schools do want to see that you are a well-rounded applicant. So just try to do things that will make you look like I'm well-rounded, I'm competitive, but don't just do what the admission committees want you to do. Something you are passionate about and you feel like, I love this, I'm going to thrive in, because it's better to do something you're passionate about, because you're going to be able to talk about that thing from a place of, I love this, no matter what happens, I still want to do this, compared to you doing something you feel like, this is what other people want me to do. Because then when things get tough, you are going to fall off, because you're not the person motivating yourself. External factors are. But those are the prerequisites for med schools. I know there are other stuff that people talk about, like shadowing experiences, but for now, I'm just focusing on the classes. As I go through my med school application and everything, I will let you guys know like what else I put on my med school application to help me stand out. But that would be a story for another time until we get this acceptances. So, but just stay on the lookout for that. You know, I hope this video helped you to figure out, okay, what do I need to take to be able to meet the requirements of most med schools, because, you know, the sad story is these classes I just mentioned are really important. One, because they help you already know content for the MCAT, and two, it gives you a good science base when you go to med school, because some of the stuff you're going to be learning in med school, and it's good for you to already know about those stuff before you actually go to med school. That's everything I have today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you gained something from this video. If you guys have any more questions about what do I need to apply to med school, you know, I can make a separate video about that. But make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it with anybody you feel like will really benefit from this video. Also, continue watching your girl. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope you guys continue to, all of my pre-meds out there, all of those who are applying to med school right now, keep going. I wish you guys all of the best of luck. I wish you guys God's blessings. Bye-bye. Yeah.